All right, so moving along, we're going to be working on wrist locks now. 2 different variations from the front. I have Peyton helping me out today. Now these wrist locks are a great tool when you can actually get control of somebody's wrist. Now, if you think about it, if we're in a fight situation and people are throwing punches, it's highly, highly unlikely that I'm going to be able to catch his wrist. Okay, that's just not a very practical thing. But there are instances to where if we're tangled up here and we're fighting for clinches or something like that, and I'm able to lock onto a wrist to when he's going a little bit slower with his hands and trying to clinch fight with me, and I can get that, then that's a great setup. Other variations of where you'll see this is when we're dealing with a knife. And it's a knife threat, okay? So those are other things. Or another great opportunity too is when you do a 360 block, let's say it's like a high or low, doesn't really matter, and we burst into them and we start to jam them up, and then maybe I start to go from a clinch, side clinch, and then I work my way down to the wrist. So, you know, starting off with just the wrist lock, if he's trying to throw punches at me, I'm not going to sit here and try to catch and just go for that solely. There's an opportunity in there somewhere after we've dealt with them, we're clinching or we're grappling, whatever it may be, to where that is an opportunity. These wrist locks can be done from standing. They can also be done from the ground, you know, when you're in different positions that we've discussed. So moving on though, we're going to talk about the first one. So what I want, I'm just going to be showing you guys from this angle. You know, we're not discussing how we got here. I just want to show you guys the basic setup for it. I'm going to control right below the wrist bone here. Okay, that's where I want to grab. All right, great handle right there. If I go above it, well then I'm not able to manipulate his wrist, so I want to be below, okay, the wrist bone. So I'm grabbing nice and tight. You can go basically like a C-clamp almost and just grip in there. I don't really recommend monkey paw because then it's really easy for him to get free. The second hand, the first variation that we're doing, I'm going to basically just mirror image his hand. So I'm placing my palm right there, my knuckles will be on top of his knuckles, and I'm grabbing over. Now from here, a lot of times what people want to do is they just want to push straight back and they'll go down and just keep driving them down to the floor. That's good, but you know, what if he starts to fight back a little bit? Like what if he starts to tighten up his wrist and come towards me? So if I'm going here, maybe he's using his other hand and I'm having a hard time. Yeah, I could, you know, easily strike and kick in the groin, but once again, this is a control unit. I'm not trying to hurt him necessarily. So if he is blocking or if he's really strong with his wrist, this is what we call the pulse. I'm going to take my hand and I'm basically going to just start doing small little pulses here, like that, to break down his second grip or to break his strength. And I just keep pulsing down to the floor. So all it is, without his hand there, I still mirror image. If they're really strong, that's fine. It's like small little palm strikes over and over and over again. Because those fast paces, it's going to be very hard for him to send the muscles, to send the signal to the brain to react or retract and react and just keep going. So I'm able to break him down like that, just by pulsing really fast. And then I keep driving in, taking him down. Good pop right there. All right, I can do it with either hand, so I can kind of be on that dead side and come here. So if my thumb does end up on the other side, that is okay. All right, but we just don't want to come over here and go the opposite grip. So we're in this direction. Same thing, pulsing, driving down. So that's one of the variations with that pulse. The other variation is to where we use our thumbs. So this is, instead of grabbing the wrist, I'm going to actually be on his hand here. I'm going to take both of my thumbs and I want to place them in between either the middle finger or the pointer finger. I like to go to the middle finger, keeping everything just in the center line right there of his hand. And then I'm simply going to be pushing in really strong here, and I want to be taking my fingers into his palm. So the first one, guys, is just here. I push in, going down, taking him down. All right, so that's all it is. Grabbing, controlling, thumbs go in, pushing down, pushing down, pushing down. Now the other variation to it is to where I'm going to once again pulse. All right, so if he's fighting me or something, he's really strong, I'm just going to start to pulse and taking him down there. Now what do we do when we get down there? Well, a lot of the other videos that we've shown you guys and the techniques here, okay, I can spin him off to the side, start to go knee on belly. You can start setting up gift wrap. You can arm drag, take the back. A lot of different setups, side control. You can flip them over from there. All right, so just to recap the two. Our first one, grabbing, mirror imaging, going straight down. Maybe they're really strong, they're resisting a little bit more. That's where we start to pulse. Or we use our thumbs, kind of go into the middle finger there, straight down. Or we start to pulse, taking them down. Now, a couple things that you guys need to think about. When you put two hands on one hand, there is a danger of being hit. All right, he could easily hit me. So that's why I'm not a huge fan of doing this necessarily in a fight. But if I needed to, deal with the knife, then I'm going to be focused on that knife to where I'm here, and I'll do my technique really quick, and I'll be like taking that into his shoulder or something like that. So it can be done really rapidly, but I'm not going to sit here, like I said, and try to fight and get control, and if he's punching me or something, I'm trying to cover up and just focus on that. No. But if we're grappling, I get control, I come back, and then I go fast, and I take them down hard. So anytime you do these wrist locks, they have to be done really, really quick. It's not something that you can sit here and, hey, are you done? You gonna listen? And I come halfway. Because when I'm halfway, he could easily still hit me. The purpose of this, we want to get them on their back. When we get them on their back or their belly, you get them there, and then you're on top, you're going to have a lot more control of them. So this is just going from standing, a couple different variations of getting them down on the floor. All right, so wrist locks, just going straight back on the wrist.